Imagine you walk into a staircase at night. You press a button, and the lights turn on automatically, but only for a limited time, and then they switch off on their own without you touching anything again. Now stop and think for a second. How is the circuit actually deciding how long the light should stay on? That's exactly what we're building today, and by the end of this, you will clearly understand how a staircase timer light system actually thinks and works like a tiny electronic brain. So we start with the main setup inside a simulation environment where the whole idea is built step by step. At the center of this system, everything revolves around a timer-based logic circuit. You can already see different digital components coming together like a small electronic puzzle. There is a counter, there is a decoder, and there is a control logic that decides when the light should turn on and when it should turn off. Now the interesting part is, none of this is random. Every single block has a purpose. Now focus here. We are using a digital counter IC that is responsible for counting time in steps. Think of it like this. Instead of measuring time like a clock, it counts pulses. Each pulse is like one step forward in time. And when it reaches the final count, the system automatically understands that the time is over. Now here's something you might not notice at first. The system also includes a button input, and this button is not just a simple switch. When you press it, something interesting happens. It triggers the whole sequence. Now pause here and think, why do we need the timer to start only after pressing the button? Because the whole purpose is energy saving and automation. The light should not stay on forever, only for a fixed duration after user interaction. Now there is one more important component in this circuit, which is the comparator. The comparator works like a decision-making unit. It compares the counter output with a preset value and checks when the required count is reached. In this staircase light timer, the counter keeps counting down, and the comparator monitors that value. When the countdown reaches the final value, the comparator sends a signal to turn off the LED automatically. But then comes another important part. How do we display or control the output of the counter? This is where the decoder plays a very important role. The counter does not directly give us a readable number. Instead, it produces binary signals. These binary outputs are just combinations of zeros and ones, which are difficult for humans to understand and cannot directly drive a 7-segment display. The job of the decoder is to convert these binary signals into meaningful output signals. It takes the input from the counter, understands the binary value, and activates the correct output lines according to that number. In this way, the decoder works like a translator between the counter and the display. For example, when the counter generates a binary value for a specific number, the decoder converts it into signals that can light up the correct segments of the 7-segment display. This allows us to clearly see the countdown value instead of only seeing electronic signals. Now we add a 7-segment display to show the countdown value. It receives the signal from the counter through the decoder and displays the remaining time in numbers, making it easier for the user to see how much time is left before the LED turns off. After the decoder section, we add an AND gate at the clock pin. Now the question is, why we don't connect the clock signal directly to the counter? The reason is that we need control over when the counter should start counting. The AND gate works like a switch for the clock signal. It only allows the clock pulses to reach the counter when the required condition is available. When the button is pressed, the gate allows the clock pulses to pass and the countdown starts. If we connect the clock directly, the counter will keep receiving pulses all the time, and the timer will start running even without pressing the button. So the AND gate gives us proper control and makes sure the countdown starts only when the user activates the circuit. After that, we generate the clock signal using a 555 timer IC. The 555 timer is used here in astable mode, which means it continuously produces clock pulses at a fixed frequency. These clock pulses are then given to the counter through the AND gate. The speed of these pulses decides how fast the countdown will happen. By changing the resistor value in the 555 timer circuit, we can control the delay time. For example, when we use a higher resistance, the clock pulses become slower, which makes the countdown slower and more suitable for this staircase light system. So the 555 timer works as the heartbeat of this circuit, providing the timing pulses, while the counter uses these pulses to decrease the displayed value step by step. After generating the clock signal, we add an LED at the output stage to observe the final result of the circuit. This LED acts as an indicator and shows the actual working of the timer system. When the button is pressed, the LED turns on, showing that the countdown process has started. The counter continues working with the clock pulses, and when the timer completes, the LED automatically turns off. This makes it easier to visually verify the output and understand the complete operation of the staircase light timer circuit. As the circuit runs, you'll notice something very important about timing behavior. At one point, the countdown is too fast when a 10,000 ohm resistor is used in the timing section. This is a critical observation because it shows that resistance directly controls the speed of the timer. We increase the resistance to 500,000 ohms, and immediately the countdown becomes slower and much more practical for real-life staircase usage. As we go deeper, another issue appears in the circuit behavior. The LED is not glowing properly. The reason turns out to be the resistance in series with the LED. It is too high, so the fix is simple but important. We adjust that resistance back to an appropriate value so the LED can actually receive enough current to glow properly. This is a perfect example of how small component values can completely change circuit performance. Now let's talk about how the system actually counts. At a certain stage, the counter is set to a value like 9 for counting down. This means the timer doesn't start from 0 in a random way. It starts from a defined number and then moves step by step towards 0. And this is important because in real staircase systems, we often want a fixed delay like 9 seconds, 10 seconds, or more, depending on the requirement.